Smoke sounds
The smoke sound.
in sap.
Hi there, guys. Welcome to Outdoors, Brews, and BBQ. This is Carlos, your host. On tonight's episode, we got some returning guests. Seeing as we are going to be having a beer he specifically wanted to make sure he tasted here with us. So over to my left, I got Chris back in the studio again. And like usual, my
Your
every
gorgeous,
episode guest.
Your favorite, Hyro. What
Hyro.
up?
But in today's episode, we have some beers
Some great
from Kentucky.
beers.
All right.
Great beers.
And these beers,
Well, I've only tasted one. The other two, gonna be surprised.
I've tasted two of these because I tasted one at home. So
You were like, I'm a little too cute.
Are they from the great state of Kentucky?
they are all from the great
Kentucky.
state of Kentucky, and then we'll be finishing off the panel with something even greater from Kentucky.
I'm excited.
KFC?
But it ain't KFC.
Popeyes
didn't-
always wins, man.
I didn't
Popeyes.
bring no Kentucky Fried Chicken. All right. But to start off on today's beer list here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with Blueberry Barrel Wheat from the same beer company as Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale, which we all have had.
Yes,
but
many times.
multiple times over. But let's go ahead and let's get this blueberry wheat ale, circulating
You know,
here.
for me, just pass me the bottle.
I know I just got to pass you the bottle.
Yeah, just pass me the bottle.
Pásame la botella.
But I got to put some in front of the camera, so.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So now that I got some here in the
Give me
cup,
color.
we can
Look at
put it
that meat.
right here next to this beer right there.
A nice color right there.
What the?
What up? He literally just covered up the corner.
Oh.
Florida bass fishing.
Also, that is not my Instagram.
Flo- Florida bass fishing. That's Ernie. Probably.
Florida bass fishing would be Ernie.
Probably.
It is. I know that for sure.
He's the only human being that talks more about fishing than anything else, and hockey.
Now, that color looks pretty nice for this beer. I ain't gonna lie.
It's a
I'm gonna
very
pour
nice
myself here, the rest of this
amber.
bottle into this cup here, and I'm gonna have this cup for myself.
Chen, you having some? We gotta pour some for Chen.
Yep.
Pour some from Chen. Chen's gonna have this cup I poured here back here. Then
Thank
you want a
sir.
cup over there, Chris? Or you good with a bottle?
Bottle. Thank you. All right.
All right. So artwork's pretty simple. You know, they stuck to their typical, front of the bottle, front of the can logo. They didn't go too fancy. Let's hand this over to Chen back over here. And then I'm going to taste it right here from this cup we got in front of the camera.
I already have thoughts.
It's got
Their thoughts were like thoughts and prayers.
Don't start, bro. Don't start.
it's got a sweet note there at the beginning as you take it in.
So this reminds me of a blueberry muffin, for sure. And in some beers, I think it's tough because like there's a lot of beers out there that claim to have like a fruit like note or fruit aftertaste, if you will. This gives it to you right going in and going out. I'm just saying.
Aye.
Oi,
Hello.
dang. Go ahead, come in.
So when it goes in, you can taste it, and when it goes out, you can taste it too.
I don't know, man. I think it's richer when you're taking it in. And it definitely gives me like that blueberry muffin
Yeah.
aftertaste. Not bad for a summer beer. When I tasted it the other day at the house, I was actually barbecuing in the backyard, and it definitely. I wanted to drink the other four I had brought, and I had to hold them. So it was difficult to hold myself from proceeding to the next bottle over in the lineup.
So you had to resist.
I had to resist.
I'm not gonna
but
lie. When you told me that it was a blueberry barrel Kentucky, I thought it was gonna be a dark beer. Just because I'm so used to so I was like, oh, it's just gonna be a dark beer. And then I look at it, I'm like, wait, it's a wheat.
Yeah, it's a wheat beer, bro.
It kind of
Damn,
has the
it's
same
really good,
consistency as the regular Kentucky
Yeah.
bourbon barrel.
It
Like,
has that bite of the Kentucky,
yeah. This
but
would
like
be
this nice.
I mean, it has a
blueberry,
nice color tone to it.
explosion in your mouth.
Oi.
Explosion!
The color tone, as you poured in the cup, man, that thing can confuse anybody.
Cheers, chat.
Thank you,
Cheers.
Marcelo. Missed you too, bro.
It almost confuses you for a borderline of a red ale. As far
You
as
know, I'll agree with that. what I like about it is that it's good on the bottle, but this on draft would be sexy as fuck. I think so.
Now that you mention it's good from the bottle, I'm going to taste it from the bottle because I'm wondering, does it have a different flavor from the bottle versus drinking from that cup?
You know, there always is. Just I love holding a bottle.
Well, it's about the same.
Yeah.
Not big of a difference.
For me, Kentucky, like all Kentucky bourbon barrels, like ales. I've tried this one, and I tried, I think, like was it?
There's
the
only
Irish?
been one that I haven't been able to say I would buy again. But every single beer I've had from them has been great.
The Irish stout one that they came out with a couple years ago. Like it was literally just sitting on a shelf at Total Wine. I tried it as a one-off shoot. It was fantastic, and I went to the sales rep. I'm like, "Where can I get more of this?" And they're like, "No, it was from a random case. We don't have any more." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And it was fucking amazing.
Sucks, man.
Because imagine this as a stout with the same bourbon barrel, like bourbon finish that it has. It's fucking fantastic, bro.
Interesting. I mean, this one was on the shelf. That's where I first spotted it. It was solo. And then all of a sudden I found the 4-pack. I was like, oh, okay. Let me take the 4-pack. Let me get that before they're gone.
Mm.
And then I bought the solo to taste it to see whether it was worth the 4-pack or not. And when I tasted it, I was outside smoking near the barbecue. And the wife came by and she tasted it. And then she stole it from me.
Nice.
So I couldn't finish the beer.
Yeah, because like,
so I was like, shit.
Well, now you can.
but you know, this is something like, and this is not like a shot at women or anything like that, but 9 times out of 10, there's a lot of women out there that don't like to drink beer. They prefer like, hard liquor, wine, things like that.
Or really fruity shit.
This is a happy medium. Like, I think this is a happy medium. Like, if Karina were here, like my wife, I would tell her, hey, try this, babe. See how you like it. And it's really not bad. Like, honestly, out of the Kentucky bourbon barrels that I have tried, it's a pretty good alternative. I would drink this. Like, I would have this in my fridge. Why the fuck not?
You fucks with it.
I fucks with it.
The one that I haven't been able to do, bro, is that cream ale they make.
Okay, I am not a fan of like cream soda. Like there's, you know how
anything creamy.
There's always that weird kid in high school. There's always that weird kid that like, oh, can I get a cream soda? I'm like, who the fuck orders a cream soda?
Me.
Why?
I didn't even look over. I was already waiting for that. I was like,
so does Chad.
It just tastes like sugar. It doesn't taste like fucking cream.
It tastes like delicious.
If you're telling me cream soda, I'm thinking like, does it taste like milk or some shit? Did you put like fucking leche condensada in it or some shit? That's what I'm expecting. But nobody drinks cream soda. I'm just saying.
I do.
Okay, all right.
I've never been able to do cream soda.
Okay, all right. If you walk into
out of 4 people, 50% of us drink cream soda.
If you go to one of those like not the McDonald's, was it Burger King has that little soda machine that you could pick like 1,000 different flavors? It's not on there because nobody drinks that shit.
Unsweetened iced tea.
You know what though? They do have cream Dr. Pepper.
I'd try that.
Actually, it's not. I like cream Dr. Pepper.
Cherry Dr. Pepper.
Well, I like Dr. Pepper to begin with. So
I like Dr. Pepper too.
I just stick to original. Y pa carajo.
Nah, I'm weird like that.
Why do I need to complex my head? Yeah.
Complejo.
Yeah. But as far as this Kentucky Blueberry Barrel Wheat is an American wheat ale style with a light malty note of the sweet blueberry fruity taste. That is a well balanced with a hint of tartness and a crisp citrus finish. For those of you out there who are wondering on going to explore this Blueberry Barrel Wheat from Kentucky,
it's really good, man. Like honestly, it's a great beer. I think so.
Would you say this would be a great beer to season something with?
Bro, now that I think about it.
Flavor.
So,
what would you season with this beer?
What would I season?
I got one for you. And it's actually a barbecue trick. I'll tell you right now.
I would say there's some pork.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Because as soon as I went like this and I smelled it, I was like, coño.
I was like, I think the pork would just really absorb the flavor and just have like a bit of blueberry like hints while you're eating it. And people would be like, "What is that?"
I'm gonna go one further. You make your own barbecue sauce at home and you put some of this in it to give it that sweet. Because like there's so you know how like you know how some people make their own home barbecue sauce like tomato paste, molasses, things like that. There's a bunch of different barbecue places that I've been to. By the way, there's one opening up here in Kendall called the Apocalypse Barbecue.
I was like, bro, I don't want no barbecue pox. that's the direction you're going. It's
I
already
think we've
enough for the
already got
monkey
enough
pot.
of that.
It's a pop-up. It's a pop-up that's been around like Miami for a while. And then today on the New Times, they announced that they're going to get their own barbecue spot here in Kendall, which is going to be nice. So shout out to them. Really good barbecue. Fantastic. But there's a lot of barbecue places around the country that make their own barbecue sauces from scratch, right? And I had one, where was it? In Atlanta, right? I think was it Voodoo? It was a barbecue place in Atlanta. And truth be told, the guy's like, yeah, we put beer in this barbecue sauce. And I'm like, how the hell? And he's like, yeah, you have to cook it. Like you just pour like, it's like a half of a shot glass in. And I'm like, so what does it do? And he's like, try it for yourself. And it was amazing. It was one of the richest barbecue sauces that I've ever had, in the sense, not in the rich sweetness, because barbecue sauce is supposed to be sweet. It was bold and smoky. And to this day, I have been trying to find that recipe so I can steal it and make it.
Not for you.
I don't know, dude. It was mind blowing. But this, I would put the shit in that barbecue sauce. Why not?
The other thing that surprised me about this beer also was its APV level.
8 point.
Because when
Wait,
I tasted
8
it,
point?
it was 8 point.
8 point.
Ooh. Doesn't taste like an 8.
Does
like,
not
it taste
taste like an 8.
Gives
It's
me
very
more of like a
deceptive.
6.
That's what I thought when I first tasted it. Also, it was somewhere between the 5 and the 6 level, and then I started looking at the bottle, which is when it was stolen from my hands. And when I saw it was an 8, I was like, oh, okay, this is it's got a stronger kick to it than I thought. Yeah.
Honestly, what I'm gonna say is that this is a beer. Like, you know how a couple episodes ago, one of the ones that we took part in is like, what's your favorite summer beer?
Mhm.
This officially became that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
For me-
that I know it exists.
For me, this knocked off another blueberry beer I had on my list from before.
Is it the
Which
one from the Sea Otter?
Sea Dog.
Sea Dog. There you go.
Yeah, Sea Dog.
Dog does make a good. I went to
The blueberry one.
I went to the brewery once, bro, and
Yeah.
then when we were up there again, I tried to pass by. The place was gone.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I know where there
Yeah,
still
it-
is one. There's one in Tampa that is still around, but it's not just the brewery. They have a restaurant like right near it.
Okay.
It's still there because we went to a wedding reception there. Like, they actually rented out the whole place and decided to have it at Sea Dog Brewing for whatever reason. And I go to the guy. I'm like, hey, can I just get the original blueberry beer that you have? And it tasted fucking incredible. Like, it's if you like fruit, like if you like your fruit, it's a good beer.
If you like your beer fruity.
If you're like, a dude from Texas, who's like hellfire and brimstone, then yeah, it might not be your thing. But for a dude like me that has a wide range of beer tastes, I'll try it.
I don't
For
know,
sure.
bro. I guess it depends what part of Texas you're talking about, because I feel like they always are drinking some sort of lager. I know.
I don't know.
Some sort of soft.
So, Chris, what's your rating on this?
Because I know what's coming, it's hard for me to give this like a perfect 5. Like, it's unfair because
Better-
I know the beauty that is coming like after that. I'm gonna go ahead and give it, for what it is, a solid 4. A solid 4.
Okay.
Solid 4. Yeah.
This is
Give-
something I'll definitely put in my fridge.
Chen gives it a 4.
Chan gives it a 4. All
I was
right.
gonna give it a 4 too.
I can stick to that 4 chart. 4 out of 5 is not bad rating for this blueberry barrel aged wheat.
I like it
Um,
because you get blueberry taste more than anything, and
Which
then-
was what was surprised me at the beginning was the fact that you do get that blueberry taste right off the bat.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see blueberry written on a
It
bottle,
doesn't taste it at all until like the very end, and you might
Right,
get like an
like-
afterfeel, and not even that much.
and it's very weak.
Yeah.
Right? It's very weak.
Do you remember a while back, unbranded, we tasted the salt lime lager?
Yeah.
So salt lime lager, the one that at least I drank from, I didn't get the salt or the lime at the beginning. I got it when I reached the bottom of the can. So, and I think that's really, really hard for breweries to give you a consistent experience, especially if the beer's been sitting on a shelf for a while.
True.
Which
I mean,
that's
And you
always
can't
my
shake
concern.
it up.
Well, that's why these when I brought these, I'm glad that I light them on their side.
mhm.
And then as the cooler was moved around, whatnot, that stuff is at least moving a bit.
Correct.
So that by the time we actually pop them open, you have some hope that whatever settled down flavors there may have been hit in the bottom kind of balance themselves around,
Yeah.
right? But for a blueberry beer, again, this is a wheat ale. landing in at 8%.
Yeah, that's actually.
I feel like I
what
can use
what
it to
do.
like pre-season some chicken wings. Leave them in a Ziploc bag for about 48 hours in the fridge. You know, I can put some
You're
pork
making
chops
Chen
in there
salivate.
too, and put them in a smoker. And you put them in a smoker at a steady 220, and you
Low
leave
and
them in
slow.
there for about a good 3.5, 4 hours.
The rule of smoking meat:
Oof.
low and slow.
Low
I think
and
it will
slow.
be a nice tasting piece of meat.
Oy,
Ay.
loga. You know you
No.
missed that.
Smoky meat, low and
Smoky
slow.
meat, low and slow.
Damn.
But now that we're
What
talking
type of
about
show is this?
now that we're talking about Kentucky, you know, other than the good old Hyro Kentucky Fried Chicken joke, Kentucky actually has a national park that's not far off from these breweries.
Is it near the Colonel?
I don't know the exact location of the Colonel's office, but I can tell you that this national park is rather interesting because I walked by this national park towards the ending of August. And when you are hiking through the trails on the outside, yes, it is 84, 87 degrees.
God damn.
But as you walk in front of the cave and you're standing almost 50 yards away from the cave itself, you have an instant air conditioner coming out of that cave
Nice.
because the temperature in the cave is about 55 steady.
That's the interesting thing about caves. When we went to, like, for those of you out there that don't know, we got married in Ireland. There was a cave that had the world's largest stalactite formation, which, you know, is formed over thousands of years.
Thousands of years.
But to get to it, you've got to go like a good 300 feet underground to get to it, to go there. And we went down there, and the guy goes, "You guys are wearing a light sweater?" He said, "No. You need to wear like a full blown jacket."
You need to warm up.
And I asked him like, "Well, what for?" He's like, "Because it's always cold underground." And I never understood that dynamic, I guess. But the guy goes, he's like, in ancient times, this is where people would store their
food.
in this cave.
Their meats.
People would
Makes sense,
the
yeah.
village people would store their meats and their produce and vegetables here because it's fucking cold. And I'm like, how cold is it? And we looked at the temperature going down.
How cold is it?
It's
I feel
fucking-
like it's a joke because
It was 31 degrees down there.
Wow.
Yo.
31.
That is definitely colder than.
Do we
than-
got like the temperature this mammoth goes to?
I mean, Mammoth, it's a steady
Gets-
55. It's
Okay,
in
it's
the
not
low
cold.
50s to mid 50s year round. Right. It's the largest. Let me read this here for you guys. Mammoth Cave National Park is in central Kentucky, encompassing portions of Mammoth Cave, the largest cave system known in the world since 1972. Mammoth Cave is even longer system under Flint Ridge, which is to the north. Right. In order for you to do the basic tour, the short tour is 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Shit.
The long
Yeah.
tour is 4 hours plus,
It's a lot of hiking.
right? And it's all underground,
So it's like different trails.
different trails they have.
Like, well, I'm sure it's like longer, but like
I would recommend being there in the morning early
Mhm.
because the tickets do sell out to the cave tours. The cave tour, when we got there at 9:30 in the morning, and they were already sold out up to almost 2 in the afternoon.
Jesus.
yeah.
Right. The park was established and became a national park in July 1st of 1941. And it is south of also the main city you want to go to taste off some bourbon if you're out there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Louisville.
Louisville. Right? But
Forget
for
them
it
movie
being,
sluggers.
the name Mammoth Cave came to the park because of how big the caves are.
Well, yeah.
You can fit multiple semi-trucks inside this cave. Right? It is enormous.
Well, that's like, we took a cave tour once when we were there in Ireland, and the guy goes, he's like, "Yeah, by the way, when you go down this cave, don't drop anything." And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Look to your left," and then you just see an endless pit. Like, you don't. I asked him, like, "Have you ever dropped?" He put it to me this way. He's like, "We dropped a glow stick once down that way, and we lost sight of it after like 2 minutes." And I'm like, "That's how deep it goes." And he's like, "Yeah, it's a really, really big cavern. It's never been fully mapped, but this area is safe." And I go, "Why do you fucking do this for a living?" Like, it's like, "Oh, where do you work?" "I work in the endless pit of death." There you go. It's like, fuck that.
Interesting. I don't know, man. But now that we're talking about the outdoor section, I had the real question I was going to bring into today's conversation was, what are the basic tools you think are needed if
Basic
you
bitch.
are to go out there into BFE,
Mm-hmm.
Butt Fuck Egypt?
Okay.
For those of you who don't know what BFE is, if you're listening, things you want to take with you.
Okay. If we're talking about straight up survival, or are we talking about leisure here?
Straight up survival.
Okay. A flint. That's number one.
Okay.
Right. So a flint. If you want to talk about basic survival, number one, warmth. Right. Hypothermia can kill you like pretty quickly. Right. So if you're in a place like where I'm forced to survive, like if I'm in the forest, I definitely want a flint. Why? Because you can light a fire really quick as fuck. Now, if you tell me I'm in a desert, that being I'm fucking dead, you know, 'cause I don't know if I could survive the fucking desert, but I would say it depends on where I'm going. But I think standard, if I had to have a standard kit, I would say a flint, definitely some sort of like waterproof flashlight. I think that would be, and then a fucking shovel for many reasons. Because you can use a shovel to like kill an animal if you need to kill an animal and like,
Cut
you know,
things.
I
cut things.
hope you can throw that shit like a spear. That animal could run, son.
I mean, machetazo, you know, like straight to the
Okay.
head.
Hey,
right?
cool. You
You
can
can
whack a
sharp-
bunny.
You can
Slowly-
sharpen the edge of it and it turns into a fucking tomahawk.
You're right.
Mhm.
You're right. You're right.
Just saying. Shout out to my
I
wife.
don't know, man. As I was thinking about this morning, I asked Hyro the same thing earlier. Hyro threw me some decent ideas, but I was like, you know what? I think you need some navigational tools to start off with that.
Compass.
So a compass for sure. Maybe you want to have, if you're willing to do modern technology, GPS, global, positioning system, that relays to satellite, not your cell phone. Don't relay on your cell phone. Cell phone's only going to give you so much after
True.
you lose reception. A physical paper map, because you want to have a map of the terrain. GPS and compasses are only going to do so much.
Mm-hmm.
So physical paper map. If you are going to take a water bottle, sure, you can start off with a water bottle, but you might want to take something like a life straw.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, the
Or
life straw.
I have one in the car.
A
Like, I have-
bottle.
What you have one in the car for? You're
You never know, bruh.
You're gonna survive in Miami?
Papa, why do I
This
have
ain't
a,
the freaking
why do I
Wild
have
Wild
an
West out
axe
here?
and a machete?
I don't know.
I mean, I got 2 tomahawks in the trunk.
Oh, I gotta take you guys axe throwing. That shit was so much fun.
The life straw, I think, would be a great tool to have on you, because now you don't have to rely on the water you brought.
Mhm.
You can just take water from a stream, put it into a bottle, the same bottle you already had on you, and just use the life straw to go ahead and drink out.
Drink straight.
Drink straight.
Yep.
Right. You definitely want to go out to the outdoors with shoes made for the outdoors. Don't be going out there with no fancy little, Timbs and no fancy little tennies that, tennis shoes that you're going to be wearing to, do a half a mile walk.
Yeah.
You got to,
I was just gonna be barefoot.
good luck.
I mean, if
Hey,
you,
look,
if,
I'm about to fight bears butt naked. Why would I?
I mean,
and then-
watch Prey. You'll learn about fighting bears.
You're right.
Great movie.
Or mountain lions.
Oh, that's true.
Shit,
Yeah, you do.
And then I think a good knife. You want a good blade that you can use to cut whatever animal or whatever meat you're going to be eating out there to survive. Fire starter for sure, and a decent 100 feet at least of paracord rope
Yep.
that you can use for multiple things.
Took a lot of my ideas there.
I mean,
But some of these
did
were
answer his
provided
question.
by Hyro earlier, and
Yeah,
I said at the
we
beginning.
did this. I was like the paracord. I was like, paracord. You need best way to make shelter.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you could
Yeah.
also use you can basically take leaf strands, and then turn them
you
into
could, but it's
bindings.
it's on you already. Less energy you have
True.
to use.
Well,
The
here,
less energy you have to use, the more you can use it towards something else. More
True.
towards hunting, towards gathering, towards. So
I mean, I would want to take a machete though, like a machete for sure, because that's such multi-purpose.
I was gonna say I was gonna use a buck knife, but the ones that have like a flint and then so you can make fires with it.
so
So at the same time you can.
So I have funny enough, I got it at Walmart. It was super, super cheap. It was $20. It's a multi-purpose machete that has a flint built into the handle. It pops out, and then you just literally
that's-
scrape it, and then
yeah,
boom.
but how long is that machete?
It's about yay big.
So 16 inches.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's sharp as hell.
Talking about me again.
And so and the actual end of it, the actual handle is made of like rubber. So like if you have water on your hands or something like that, it's still pretty good grip.
Okay, not bad.
Okay.
I took it when we went camping that last time.
Yeah, a knife. That's why I like a buck knife, just because I need something good to like once I hunt, because you can tie that to a stick and just straight launch it like a spear.
You could.
Or just like, you can use it to cut a stick and just throw it, but that's definitely going to hit it.
I mean, I think that's the idea I had also is, a decent sized buck knife that you can use the same paracord rope you already brought, or you can, take a look at the nature you have around you and use some sort of vines or whatnot to tie the knife to a decent, 5-foot long stick that you can use as a spear.
True.
For when it comes to, spear fishing or any sort of hunting that you may need as you're out there in the wilderness. But those are, basic things I thought of as we were rounding our way into this episode tonight was, what are the basic tools you think you would need?
Hey, chat, what do you think you'd use? Let's hear what chat has to say.
Let's see what chat has to say.
Let's see what chat says as we keep going over here.
No.
Now, I would love to hear
other than
what would be your
Dr.
top
Pepper.
3, or at least one. What would be the one major one for you?
You can only take one item, like Survivor style.
Well, here, I have the good old famous question I always throw is, you're on a plane. The plane's going down.
Oh.
I'm going
down. Never mind, some of us have a fear of flying.
Plane's going down. The plane hits, and you are still alive.
Mm-hmm.
You can only take 3 things off the plane.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to eliminate one of those things immediately because let's suppose you found the flare gun on the plane. So that eliminated one of your 3.
That's likely.
All right. What are the other 2 items you're going to take?
I wouldn't take the flare gun.
You wouldn't take the flare gun?
Because I would try to set fires. I would want something that would make fires. And the flare gun, you only have like as many shots as you can. I would try to at night. I would at least try to like set fires and smoke.
Usually, when you get a flare gun, it comes with reloads. Like usually, like 2 or 3 extra flares.
That's only 2 or 3. I need.
True.
Like for me, if you're telling me that I need 3 things, that's gonna be pushed off.
Okay.
To the side.
Based on the flights that I've been on, so if I had to take something, I would definitely raid the beverage and food cart if it was still there.
If it was still there. Okay.
It was still there. So that's simple survival logic
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's number 1.
You can ration it out for
number 2, on most airlines right now, like the pilot itself, like in the cockpit, has access to, I believe, a sidearm. So I would definitely try and get that if I could. But although it'd probably be locked up in like a super strong lockbox. So I'd probably get access to that, and then
or you find whatever the what are they called, the marshals?
Yeah, the Marshall
US
sidearm,
Marshal.
US
Because they're on the plane. They don't have it locked up. They have it on them.
And then I know this sounds very random, but I would do it. I would try and take as many seatbelts out of that plane as I could. The logic behind that is that they are strong. So if you wanted to build a shelter, you can either use it as a binding, or you could lift your shelter off the ground, like connecting seatbelts. And I'm just saying, like, from a logical perspective, like, if you've ever seen Survivor, like the show Survivor, a lot of these people that when they build their shelters or whatever, they build it off the ground. Because if you think about it, if that shit floods, or if there's fucking ants or snakes and stuff like that, they're less likely to reach you if you're elevated.
Snake's going to reach your ass no matter how elevated you are.
And
This is true.
Hold on. The chat
we got someone
responded.
on chat. All right, so someone's actually chose the multi-purpose knife that we were talking about. So like a buck knife or machete, something with a flintlock. Went with the paracord.
You
Yeah,
said a paracord bracelet. Smart.
Yeah.
It's
Smart.
compact.
So that means
that's
he always
normally
has
what
a
I have
paracord
on me most of the time.
Right.
Because I'm always like, hey, if something happens, not today, of course, but most other days I always have those different colored paracord bracelets. I was like, it's fashionable,
What do
and
you
if
think,
something
Harold?
happens, I got paracord.
What 2 items? Because we already excluded one with a flare gun.
I know, and I said I'd give you back that flare gun.
You give me back that flare
but
gun.
no,
I know you
okay,
would.
no, I have to stay with the flare gun. Then I would get the raft that I use,
Okay.
because there's always a boat raft. Use that for shelter right away.
You could. All right. I like that idea.
I would just like shelter and food is what
Shelter
I'd
and
go
food?
for, and then anything else I'll make. So I'll make some type of weapon with any wood or anything around, or like just like if there's animals to hunt. If not, then I'm going fishing, and then you're probably gonna try to. I'm gonna probably try to harpoon it.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know, man. I think I would, already having the flare gun as option A, I think I would look for a decent, 12 to 16-inch piece of metal that I can sharpen.
But we have a whole plane. I'm sure we.
Yeah.
definitely-
I mean,
But I
piece
don't
of-
want something that's an inch thick that I'm going to be there, trying to sharpen for half a millennia.
So you're saying is you like it girthy?
Hey.
Oh.
I want something I can sharpen quick on a wet stone right by the stream, if once I find the stream, right? Because we don't know where the hell the plane landed, so
or if
you're
we're by
gonna,
the ocean.
or if you landed in the ocean, then you're just SOL.
Oh yeah.
So then you're gonna go for the raft.
Exactly.
Then you're just at the raft.
But I would
See,
look
the raft
for-
is golden either way for me because I feel like it's shelter, or you either try to row and hope you hit an island.
I like the raft idea, but I was gonna go more for the parachute, if there was a parachute that you can find on the plane. And one, because the parachute, one, I can use for shelter, for
Kinda.
shade,
If there's a parachute, yeah,
and at
that's
the
gonna be a
same
lot
time,
bigger. It definitely would be a lot.
I mean,
better.
if you're in a military aircraft,
But those
you'll
boats
find
that they have are
parachute.
humongous. So like that, you great shelter. Like it. they're
and
massive.
then that parachute already has the paracord rope in it also.
True.
So now I can cut
True.
the paracord rope out, use that for certain things. I can use the parachute for shelter and cover, shade from the sun. And then I don't want to go too far from that plane crash.
Mhm.
Far enough in case anything else blows up. I'm nowhere near it. But I want to keep that flare gun handy in case the choppers start looking for the black box. I'm going to shoot that flare up in the air. Yeah. Just, that's how I
See,
saw
that's
it.
why I would just make fires the whole time. One, make like out of sticks, try to put like SOS
no,
or
yeah.
something like that.
I have
You got to
made
keep
fire.
you got to keep your ass warm. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I'm going to build a
It's not
fire.
even that. There's the fire specifically for just like you constantly keep it lit and throw it out. So like even at night, there's always like smoke or something. So they're like, why is there smoke there? Like on this
Exactly.
island that they probably passed like maybe a week before, 2 weeks or something like that. Passed by again and it's like, wait, there's smoke coming from there. Even in the day, at least they can see the smoke. They might not see the fire, but they'll see the smoke.
Or they reported to the Coast Guard or some shit like that.
Mhm.
Hopefully.
Oh, bro.
That's why I was kind of I wanted to throw away the flare gun because like you only have a couple shots and they don't see it. You happen to like only see them like when they're like already past you.
That being
There's a shotgun that's gone.
You're right.
Not shotgun, shotgun.
The flare shot. I got you. I know what you meant. As they both, if I'm not mistaken, almost use the same size cartridge. But moving on here to the next beer before these things start getting warm.
On and on and on.
Are we
The
going
next
to the
beer,
wall? Which one are we going to?
we're going to the classic.
Oh, my
We're going
favorite.
straight to
Keep
the
it classico.
Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale.
Epa.
My baby.
Give it to
I
daddy.
can find this baby almost anywhere.
It's Chen's favorite.
All right.
It's gonna put hair in your chest, Chen.
This one ranging in at 8.2%. So we're jumping up from an 8 to an 8.2. Our Kentucky Ale is aged in a freshly decayed bourbon barrel.
Ooh.
It is aged in there for, let me find here so I can cut this whole entire summary short. It is aged in there for 6 weeks.
Okay.
All right. So we go straight from making a beer straight to putting it into the bourbon barrel, aging it in there for 6 weeks for it to get that flavor it gets right off that bourbon barrel.
Nice.
Right. It is the can you guys see here in the middle of this video. For those of you who are actually watching in. And we're gonna go straight to the tasting. All three of us have had this beer before.
Do it. Do it
Bourbon
now.
Barrel Ale, what's up?
Get to the chopper.
All right. You want it straight from the can or you want it from a cup?
Straight from the can, bro.
Straight from the can. Let's go for the can.
Lata.
This
That's
one's gonna
right,
have
Rodrigo.
that little tin hint. Oh.
This is
I'm
definitely.
I'm used to already getting it from like from the tap. So
I
might as
know,
well just
right?
try it from the.
The last time I ordered a
Okay.
beer there, and you know what place I'm talking about, Mike looked at me and said, he's like, "You're actually ordering an alcoholic beverage?"
Chen wants some.
And I go, "Yes, I'm ordering an alcoholic beverage." And he's like, I'm just so happy. And I go, "Why?" He's like, "Because you don't drink at lunch anymore." And I go, "Well, it is my birthday." And he goes, "Sold. Here's your free beer." I'm like, "I got
Happy
a free
birthday
beer."
to me.
Free beer, bro. Free beer is free beer. Can't go wrong with a free beer.
He's like, let me buy you a beer. And I go, absolutely, sir. You may buy me a beer.
Now, as far as the color tone, it is not that big of a difference between this
Not at all.
and the blueberry one we just had before it.
I'll go as far to say, because I was reading the label on the blueberry one, it says it had natural flavor. So I'm definitely thinking that they'd infused it with like probably some sort of like synthetic like blueberry taste or whatever, probably some like sort of oil or something like that. But it has almost the same color as the regular bourbon barrel.
That's what impressed me. That's why I didn't finish this cup here of the blueberry one, because I wanted to see how big of a difference was there between the original and the blueberry that's right here next to it. And for those of you who are watching they're side by side, and they're very, very close to each other.
The bourbon's a little more redder, more like a.
It does have a slightly darker tone, but not by much.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
You know?
I just realized this is out of a can. I've never had it out of a can before.
Wait, we just what?
I just opened the can in front of you, bro. How did you not
I've never had this from a fucking can before. I've only drank it from a bottle. Wow, this is fucking cool.
I love your surprise. Like, wait, we just said we were gonna drink it from a
I'm sorry.
you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I haven't had it from a can
way.
myself. I've only had it from bottles or from draft or tab. You know, the place we typically go have this thing at. So do you feel any aluminum minor difference due to the can or no?
It does have a different taste.
I'm always going to pick. So just I know this is like off topic for a second, but one of my favorite beers on this planet is Cigar City's Maduro, which is a really, really dark ale. And it only comes in cans. But when we go to Tampa, I always want to go there and get it in draft because it's the only place in the world you can get it in fucking draft. Everybody's Cigar City is High Life, or there's another one that they have that's super common.
Florida Man.
Florida Man, there you go. So like it's a different taste for me when it's.
I have one even stronger than Florida Man that I'm going to send you a name to. I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now.
Let's do it.
But it is also from Cigar City, and I was very impressed from it.
And by the way, guys, if you're ever in Tampa, the Cigar City Brewery, amazing food. The buffalo chicken nachos will blow your fucking mind. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Buffalo chicken nachos.
Yeah. Damn.
They're fucking fire. They really are. I could eat like 2 plates of that shit.
Bro, I really like the blueberry one, but there ain't nothing like the classic.
The classic. I'm sorry. The classic.
Different type of drinking. I think
it's like if when you have Guinness, right? Guinness now makes several different offshoots.
Give me
but
Guinness.
To me, there will never be another like the original. Nothing.
It has that special like vanilla and oak flavor to it that really gives you that,
and that like bourbon finish, like.
But I like it better on draft. I will say.
Yeah, no.
I'll say this right now. I don't like it out of a can.
I don't.
I like it in a bottle
tinniness,
or draft.
It definitely messes with the.
Because I'm going to tell you that in that cup, it does not taste big of a difference.
Cup.
Yeah, I would say definitely. From the can, you definitely get that tinniness. Like it's still good, but like the normally that vanilla taste you get, it mixes with like the metal.
I've noticed that from a lot of beers that have vanilla as a main ingredient.
It even smells different.
The
tin
or the aluminum kind of gives it a different after flavor.
Better?
Yes.
Better on the cup, right?
Yo, you look seriously. Yes.
A lot better.
Yeah.
So I know for some people it doesn't make sense. Like I'm one of those people that I'm weird about certain things. Like if you go and you get Diet Coke at McDonald's, it tastes different, like the Diet Coke from other places.
Wouldn't know. I never get Diet Coke.
Well, I know I'm one of those weirdos that I like diet soda.
Unsweetened iced tea.
Former type 2 diabetic, so I'm very much into diet soda. So it's like when you go to one place, the soda never tastes the same. Like the Coke at McDonald's does not taste the same as the Coke at Wendy's. You feel me? So like for this, like when I drink this out of the cup, it does not taste the same as it does out of this.
And it won't taste the same if you drank it out of a bottle.
Correct.
It'll be completely
different.
Or out of a tap.
So much better.
So much better out of a cup, right? So that tells you right off the bat that you're getting a additional flavor by drinking it out of the aluminum can, right? That you typically don't get there when you drink it out of a bottle, or you drink it out of out of a cup, or you get it at a restaurant off tab.
So have you ever I'm assuming you've had wine before in your life, like red wine.
Of
So
course.
think about it this way: like when you open a good Merlot, like Merlot is one of the boldest wines you
Chianti.
can get. Right? Not Chianti. Chianti's too sweet. Um, I mean, also that's like that Italian shit. I'm not a fan of that. But like, if you like for example, like me, I love Merlots because they're dark and they're bold, right? So Merlots
about
when you
me again?
you gotta talk to me like that. Buy me dinner first, bro. Chill. Anyways, when you open a Merlot, people just drink it straight up and put it in their cup, and I'm like, no. You take the cork off and you let that shit breathe for a good 3 to 4 minutes on average.
Breathe this. I'm drinking it out of the bottle.
They're like, what? The number
After
one
you
question
sit
I
there
get
for 3 to 4 minutes.
the number one question that I
Says
get is, what the fuck difference does it make? And I go, it makes every difference in the world. Think of it this way. It's been sitting in that bottle for God knows how long, right? You're introducing fresh oxygen back to it, right?
Right.
It's going to modify the flavor. So when people tell me, hey, why does this beer taste different in this can as opposed to the cup? There's way more oxygen that's allowed into the drink than is allowed through
just
here.
in the serving process.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
Just in the serving process. And then if you let it sit there for about 10 seconds before you even start drinking it, which is the average time. I mean, it sits there more than 10 seconds on average when you order it at a restaurant. Because the waiter needs to bring that darn thing back to your table.
If they're good, they'll open
I've
it in front of you.
I've told you guys the story about what happened to me with Guinness, right, in Ireland. A
That
lady
you got hammered?
Well, I mean, dude, true story.
That part we know.
That trip, I drank at least bare minimum, 45 to 50 pints of Guinness.
That's a lot of piss.
So I
That's
know
a Friday night.
in one sitting alone, I had 9 of them in one sitting alone, right? So the first time I went there, it was Karina was doing her hair because she had to like test out the fucking hair artist or whatever. And me and my father-in-law look at each other and we're like, well, what the fuck do we do for 3 hours? And we look at each other and there's a bar across the way and we're like, let's go get fucked up, right? That's exactly me. My father-in-law is like the champion of bourbon and like fucking like whiskey and shit. So we get across and the lady goes, what would you like? I'm like, all right, let me get a Guinness. She pours it about 3/4 of the way. And like an idiot, I grabbed it and I put it in my hand. This lady with the most amazing and most beautiful amount of savagery, with a beautiful right hand, goes bam, smacks it out of my hand. The drink goes fucking flying, not giving a fuck in the world. And she says, you will drink this beer when I hand it to you. And I go, I look at her with the most straight face and I go, ma'am, with all due respect, I have a half chub right now. Straight up half chub right now. I'm like, ma'am, buy me dinner. True story. So long story short, she says to me, the proper way to serve a Guinness, we have to have a Guinness episode, by the way. Would love that. We serve it 3/4 of the way. We let the foam go down and then we put another shot on top. It changes the flavor. And I said, okay, no problem. And it fucking does. So much so that I educate our bartenders at this place on how to do it properly when they fucking serve that shit all savage style. But anyway, sorry to get off topic.
Normally the ones that do it right, they'll leave it, they let it sit for a bit, and then they come back and they go.
Exactly. Anyways, continue.
Damn. So she smacked
And the
the
ones
shit out
that
of your
really,
hand
really
and
know
said,
how to do it, know how to
I
make the
literally,
clover.
like, I told her, I'm like, man, my nipples are hard right now and I have a half chub. I'm like, that was the sexiest.
My nipples, though.
She smacked a drink out of my hand and I loved her for it. I was like, you know what? Damn, that's sexy. Let's do it again. But
Damn.
anyways,
like that. All right.
the glass
Like
broke and
that,
everything. It was fucking awesome.
Like that.
Savagery.
Savagery.
All right. So from a 1 to 5,
Oh,
or
Kentucky.
from a point
5.
from a point 25
Well,
to a 5.
4.75 for me.
That's a fair.
It is almost perfect. But you know, it's
Damn, bro, Harvey, you made it hard, bro.
Damn, dude.
Fuck.
Literally. Oi.
I don't know, man. It's a
Chen,
hard
what do you
call.
give it?
It's a hard call for me because I really love this
wait,
beer.
what?
Damn, Chen's giving it a 3.5.
Oh, the way I saw the 7 first, I'm like 7.3. I'm like, check this 5.
Hold on. Rodrigo goes, in sum, Guinness is better with a slap. Okay, all right. So this is the classic, this is like your just usual, like, I'm going to go ahead and say 4.5. 4.5 is, it's still a beautiful beer and it's one of my go-to beers. It's just, I can't give it a 5. I gotta see something else,
Damn, bro.
So, ¿qué pasó por ahí?
I don't know,
What
man.
are we thinking?
I've always really liked this beer,
That's stout though.
and if I'm not
Man,
mistaken,
it's still one of my faves. You know.
I have already rated this beer before, and I after today's drinking of it, if I'm giving it an upgrade, it's going to be an upgrade. If it's already there, then it's still already there. But I'm going to give it a 5. This for me is a 5.
I expect no less.
All right. I love this beer. I think this is a beer I can use not only as a beer I would like to drink. I think this is a beer I can use for so many different recipes when it comes to aging something in a Ziploc bag with some beer.
I gotta say, this is also a beer that I introduced a lot of newbies to
Yeah.
because the flavor they enjoy. Like, oh, but this is higher proof than other stuff. Well, be careful.
But but have you seen the reactions though? Like that, like we've taken a few people to lunch. Like for those of you out there who don't know, like that's kind of like our ritual. Like when we accept somebody into our circle, we take them out to lunch to drink with us, right? And the reactions that we get are like, "Oh my god, where has this been all my life?" Like, or like, "Holy shit, this is amazing!" Like the thing about this brewery is that they're so low key. Is that they don't have advertising everywhere like your Budweisers and your Miller Lights and all that bullshit, the piss water.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I didn't know about these guys until Hyro. I think you were the first one to show me this beer.
Because
Actually,
I was drinking it.
Actually, the first time I tried this beer, true story, was when I went to lunch with you for the first time.
Y'all
this is-
welcome.
It was like
Yeah.
6 or 7 years ago, some shit like that.
I had always seen it there. They were the one with the most plainest, most simplest tab handle. And I was like,
Because our bartenders always try to get me effed up.
and
That's
I was like, bro,
that's a tall order. with
if
you.
your tab handle is that simple and that, you must taste like shit. I don't want you. But the one day you were like, here, try this. I was like, dang,
Like, you're
this,
serious about it. I was like, try
this
it.
ain't bad. This ain't bad.
And then you order, like, let me get
And then
Now-
after that, I've never let it go.
One thing that I will say though, if you're eating at the usual place that we get it on draft, because to find it on draft is extremely hard. Not many
Yes.
places have it. I would definitely recommend this, because I know it has that sweet aftertaste. Try it with the buffalo chicken sandwich. That's all I'm gonna say.
I was
It's
gonna
actually
say with a
Nashville.
prime steak.
It's gonna say Nashville hot, but you can ask them to sub the buffalo sauce.
I was gonna say prime steak or
Damn, now I want that.
what?
Now I want that
Now you want that prime steak or that buffalo chicken?
buffalo chicken though.
Oof.
Fuck yeah.
The other dish this goes great with, and it's not really a dish; it's actually an appetizer, is steak loaded nachos.
Ooh.
Yes.
All right, I typically go for the chicken loaded nachos, but I had the steak loaded nachos for the first time not too long ago,
Your cholesterol level must have went through the roof.
and I was like, "Damn, I got a massive food coma going on right now."
I mean, that's like anytime you go and eat there. Anytime you eat at BJ's, like you're gonna feel like super like tired afterwards. That's why I stopped eating there for a while. Couldn't help it. I switched to salads. Ugh, sweet green. Good God.
You became a herbivore.
No. Chill.
Chill.
I mean, the human's supposed to be an omnivore, but shit, I must have been born on the wrong side of the crib because I'm definitely a carnivore.
Now, see, I love my meat, but I like mixing things. I like little greens. I like little
No.
meat. I like.
No, I'm definitely a carnivore. I love my fucking red meat.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of which, I got to tell you all about a restaurant later. 27 out in the South Beach at the Freehand. If you like meat, some beautiful pork.
That
belly
just
there.
sounds wrong, bro. 27 free hands over at South Beach.
It is a
Hey,
restaurant.
hey,
It is a
hey.
restaurant called
Well, you
27. It is based at this drinking establishment called the Freehand. It is.
Aye.
It's a hostel. It's like
Aye.
a hostel, but at the bottom
Don't
of
get
it,
hostile
they
with me.
no. The restaurant, like, it has the best pork belly that I've ever had in my life.
Oh,
It's
bro, you're
called.
making me hungry again, bro.
It's called griot. It's based on a Haitian dish called griot
When you
and
say grill, I
piclis.
already.
Griot and piclis. It's what it's called, and it was
Picles.
fucking amazing, dude.
Aye.
And not only that, I had some amazing baller ass smoked short rib from there.
All right, guys. So we got a 3.5 from Chen. You gave it
3.5.
3.75.
3.75.
All
right, so
he corrected you. Unlike me, that I
375
saw
from
7 points. I'm like, what the?
I'm going to leave my bourbon barrel
I was like,
ale
Chen,
at
you're right.
a 5. Chris, you gave it a 4.5?
Of course, it's one of my favorites.
All right, Howard, you gave it a 4.75?
Yes, 4.75.
4.75. That is not a bad average for this beer. Next up, we have Pumpkin Barrel Ale. A barrel-aged ale brewed with Kentucky bourbon source pumpkin, richly spiced with cinnamon, nutmeg,
Oh.
and allspice. This robust, limited release seasonal brew makes for a flavorful sipping beer to slowly warm up with some weather cools.
Oh.
So, is it cold enough in here for us to have this shit? We shall find out.
I mean,
If fall's coming around,
can I put it in a latte?
can I
I
put
don't
a
see
shot of
why not.
Fireball in it?
I still have Fireball in my freezer.
Fireball in the coffee is awesome.
Oh, yes.
No, Fireball in the pumpkin.
Fireball in the pumpkin?
Yeah, you ever had like pumpkin ales with a shot of Fireball, and then you freaking coat it with sugar and cinnamon?
What's that?
Woo!
What's that
Tastes like a
beer?
pumpkin pie.
What's that beer that Mike served us that one time with a shot of?
Oh, we need to get Mike in an episode.
I know.
We will.
I know.
I feel like it's going to be these same three individuals plus Mike.
Yeah.
Guys, for those of you who don't know out there, Mike is our go-to bartender at our favorite establishment, which is BJ's Brew House, and he's been serving us our alcoholism for the last like ages or
Ages.
10 years.
He
if you
left
will.
temporarily for a little time, but he came back. You
But
know?
we followed. Well, I followed him there.
I went over there 2 or 3 times while he was there, but I was never
It's not your
fond
spot.
about it.
It's
That wasn't
definitely
my
not your spot.
That's more of a KC restaurant. KC.
Yeah.
KC, our friend.
Yes, Casey's also been in an episode before.
Yes, yeah, with
Yes,
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sa-
He was there for Dragon's Milk, dude.
Yeah. Maybe we should make this little Casey chair for when Mike's over there.
I mean,
Hey,
'cause
I don't like the way you rub the.
I know
that.
I know. He,
I was like,
he,
what the hell
he
are you gonna
rubbed
do
it-
to Casey?
He rubbed it with a little. Oh.
All right, bro. Let's get this pumpkin barrel ale out of this cooler.
Oh. Shit.
Damn, them bottles are all the way at the bottom. Shit.
I saw you struggling. Like, wait a minute.
Damn.
You feeling full, huh?
Shit, now I'm hungry.
Let some out.
Chicken nuggets.
I gotta
bro.
let some gas out, bro.
Better out and in.
I mean,
say.
if you gotta
You're right.
you gotta rip one, bro. It is what it is.
No, it's ripping out the attic, not out the trunk.
Don't be tooting around here.
Trust me, my gas pipe's locked in.
My God. God dang.
If I let one rip out the gas pipe, all 3 y'all gonna die.
Oh man, I love this shit.
Oh man.
Never a fucking dull moment.
I feel sorry for Chen.
You know,
Like, Chen, light the incense.
He's gonna need at least 10 of them.
poor Chen, he's like, bro, these motherfuckers just farted in the podcast and all that.
This is not that type of podcast. ASMR.
All right, where's the?
You gonna go straight to the bottom?
Yeah, straight to the bottom.
All right, then I guess me and Chen are splitting up this one
Pumpkin barrel ale. Good God.
because this other one's already semi-warm.
Holy shit, it's 10.
It is 10%. Yes.
Oh.
I forgot that minor little detail when I read the description.
So you saved the best for last.
I don't know about last.
Okay, hold on. Let's do the smell test.
I don't know about best.
I don't know
All
about
right.
best neither.
So
Chen, you want it in a cup or in a bottle?
Cup.
So right off the bat, you can smell.
I just want to taste.
You can smell the
Oh,
seasonings,
here,
like
pour it in here so you can taste it out there.
you can smell the cinnamon and the allspice. You can smell the spices directly from it. Like, I think that's really rare for a beer. Like, for a beer, like to smell the actual seasoning.
Oh, wow.
Right?
If I'm smelling it that
Woo,
clear from
wet
the
pie.
cup, it's like pumpkin pie right out of
I
the
know
cup.
it smells like I just made pumpkin pie. Now I want to go make pumpkin pie. Babe, go get the stuff. I'm gonna make pumpkin pie. No, it's
I know,
chicken pot pie.
I know.
It's my chicken pot pie, Kenny.
I'm trying to say pumpkin pie.
Ooh.
Wait, did he just throw up a 5?
He just
Did he
threw
just
up
throw a 5?
Threw
and
a
I
5
haven't
before we
even
even
tasted
asked.
this shit yet.
God dang.
That was quick.
Wow, Chen threw
Damn.
up a 5.
Wow.
Can't throw up a fire like that. All right.
Wow, damn, that's kind of sexy.
It smells great, bro. This is a great smelling beer, and I haven't even.
Oh my god!
Ooh.
Somebody get my wife on the phone. Somebody get my wife on the phone. Be like, babe, go pick this shit up right now.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
I need more of this when I get home.
Folks,
Super smooth
That is
for a
good.
10% ABV.
That is.
folks, when I tell you this is like a beautiful fall Thanksgiving in a damn bottle, it is exactly that. Exactly that.
There were so many pumpkin beers to choose from. I am so glad I went for Kentucky Bourbon Barrel first.
So let me give you the breakdown from what I see. I'm gonna go ahead and say number one, they kept to the traditional logo, which is nice, right? And they just changed the color, which gives you the pumpkin color, whatever.
I feel like you're when someone gets really drunk and they start looking at the bottle a little too much, and like they
Bro,
start looking at it.
It's like it's like when you were a kid, you didn't have a cell phone. You sat on the toilet and you read all the labels in the bathroom of the fucking toothpaste and the hairspray, bro.
No, I did.
I did.
I just took my shit and left.
I mean, not me, bro. It takes me a minute, just gotta increase the fiber.
I was just like, and I just hummed to myself and then leave.
So hold on, we have a question. The question is it heavy on the pumpkin? To be honest with you, Rodrigo, I'm gonna go ahead and say that it is not heavy at all.
Not at all.
What you do taste the most of are the spices.
Yeah,
the spices you definitely get.
That cinnamon spice flavor that's in between, that alcohol / the pumpkin flavor. Those are the lower two ends, but the spices in between are definitely
like you
what
taste
you
them,
taste
but
at
they're
first.
not. You're not getting
That's
punched
why-
in the face with pumpkin.
That's why
which
I
is
feel like
great.
I went straight to a pumpkin pie in a bottle.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Minus the. Can you guys Uber it? No,
Nah,
but we're gonna need an Uber
Uber
after we get out of here.
I can Uber your ass over here though.
Yeah,
That individual who asked that question.
that's what I was about to say. I was like, "Whoop your ass over here."
We got to get him in an episode because that is gonna be
Marcelito.
that's
Yeah.
gonna be live entertainment right there, bro.
We're gonna have a bunch of corona.
We had live entertainment last episode. I feel if we get, bro, if I got him and Rodrigo together would be live entertainment.
That'd be fun.
Him and Ocho.
Calle Ocho.
Ochizi.
Shout out to Ochizi. I miss you,
Oh,
homie.
Cheesy, if he was in here, that would also be live entertainment. Who else can I throw in here that I think would be like live entertainment right off the bat?
I
Damn.
don't know. We gotta surprise them, man.
I know, dude. You gotta.
Even though half these people don't know the people that we bring in,
Exactly.
these
still.
guys, we're talking about our
people that we know,
our friends,
our
that
squad.
Our squad that we typically would have this type of drink with.
If
I
you
feel like if
I
I bring
think I know the perfect guest.
if I bring Old Faithful in here,
Wait, you talking about what I think you're talking about?
if I bring Old Faithful into this episode after we just had the other two Old Faithfuls in here last week,
If you could get him on the episode, which would be fantastic, Jim. If you could pull that off.
ah, nah.
nah, I don't think that would happen.
When I tell you he is one of the most kind, like low key individuals with comedy.
No, it's just a distance for him.
I know it's too much, pobrecito, but he would be a freaking blast.
Yeah, he would be.
What if we got Gabe in here?
Oh, I'd be cracking on him all day. I
He is
love
my-
making fun of
he
Gabe,
is
so
my-
I wouldn't know what I'd do if I see him. here.
Every
Just-
time I see him, I just go up to him with the hardest face possible. Then I get close to his ear and I whisper, "You're my favorite Jewish person."
Hey.
And you know what he says? He looks in my ear. He's like, "I love you." I miss that guy.
Ah,
Would you put a tomahawk in a 1 liter Ziploc bag with a little bit of this beer?
no, I don't know about a tomahawk,
So
but
the thing is, tomahawk steaks are so meaty.
yeah, this
I don't know if I would put in a. The thing is that tomahawk is so expensive. You have to be really gentle with it. I've made one in my life, just one, and the sear that I put on it was too much. Like it came out medium well instead of like a medium rare. Honestly, a tomahawk steak, if you're gonna cook it, I wouldn't use beer on it. Like just keep seasoning simple on that. But that's just me.
What meat you think you season with this?
mob meat. No,
My man, me.
I was thinking like chicken or something like that.
I have a good recipe for y'all when it
Some
comes when it comes time for that.
Some like roasted chicken.
I got a message here on the side about the comments we just said a second ago.
What was
I
that?
saw it popped out on my iPad screen.
Please share with us.
Someone up there in that chat says, "Bro, I will be up for that 100% if you were to bring in Ocho with both Rodrigo and Marcelo."
Dude, I will enjoy the shit out of that. Let's bring him in. Oh, cheesy F, baby.
He says Ocho will be the awesomeness of the comedy here. I think he would.
Ocho's going to be
How-
like, you played yourself. Congratulations.
I think he's gonna play himself if he comes to my episode because I'm gonna make sure I have the highest APV shit I can have.
That's the snake venom episode right there.
Oof. No, that one's only selecting 6 individuals. Those
Dude.
6 heads I already have counted.
I can't wait for that episode.
No, those that's gonna be. And guess who's gonna try to get it for me?
Who?
Bertner.
That's not surprising. You know, John, like Bertner is one of those people that you know for sure has some sort of black market connection. He has some sort of person.
After he took down that Hennessy last episode, I was like, damn.
If I needed to hire a hitman, he would probably be the first person that I would go to. Be like,
no, let's not put that out there, peeps.
I'm just saying, like he could definitely get
That's
you
true.
like a stolen TV if you wanted to.
Oh my gosh. All right. So,
Well, for those of you watching, as you can see, the bottle and the cup right next to it is empty.
It is amazing.
so
It was a very good beer.
what's everyone's rating on this?
I'll go first. You know,
Well, Chen already went first.
Chen already
Second.
threw a 5.
he
Chen
called it
threw a
before
5
you-
like that,
Chen threw
bro.
a 5.
Chen didn't even wait.
so it tells me that Chen loves Thanksgiving. You know, there you
Yeah.
go. So Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. You know, because it's definitely one of those eating holidays. You know, I got greens, beans, potatoes, but everybody knows the song.
I think this would also go great with like honey baked ham.
Oh hell yeah, for
This
sure.
beer would go
Oh,
awesome with honey baked ham.
by the way, the honey baked ham smoked chicken, amazing. Try it. Shout out to honey baked ham.
Yeah, now you were saying that skit, and like there was another one. They had a remix on it
You
with
name
like
it.
Dominican one with Tonio Skits.
Oh, tell me there's more fun going there.
They're like Guadule. I was like, what? It was like they're both going back and forth like black and Dominican.
So I'm
It was
gonna go
great.
ahead and give it, and I know this is probably brutally unfair, but I'm gonna have to do it because that stout will still be my favorite of all time. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4.25. The only reason I'm giving it such a low rating is
Bro, that's not low. That's
the smell.
medium high.
Chen, I can hear you.
What the beautiful thing about the beer is actually not the taste for me; it's the smell.
The smell was an add-on feature for me. The taste itself was awesome. I like that I'm getting a similar taste to what I'm smelling. Right? I definitely smell the cinnamon right off the bat before you even taste it in. Definitely tasted like pumpkin pie.
Yeah,
in my
does.
opinion.
It does.
And all the spices needed were all there. All right. So if I had to really give this a rating from the quarter to a 5.0,
You give it the quarter. Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
That's fair.
4.75.
That's fair.
I'll give it 4.75.
I mean, how many beers have we rated 5.0 on this podcast?
Not many.
Not
There's
many.
there's only been very few.
There's been one for me, and that's Fluff or Nutter Butter.
Fluffernutter. Uncle
The good old
Fluffernutter.
Uncle Fluffernutter. That was a good beer. Because that's because you love stouts.
I
You know?
am prejudiced when it comes to stouts. I love stout beer.
So,
So I would say my rating on this, for me, it's like a 4.25.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
between them.
okay.
Maybe more towards 4. Like, I like it. I enjoy it.
What
Don't get me
was
wrong.
it? What was it that you gave it that kind of rating?
It's this thing about drinking, like, I guess the way drinking is like, I can't drink too many of these. Like, I feel like kind of like, bleh.
I
I
think
mean,
this
nobody
is.
can drink more.
I agree with you
Yeah,
on
but-
that one. I think this, for the taste that you get
But
from it,
it's a good taste and everything, but I'm probably only to drink like maybe 1 or 2 and then not going to drink more than that. Yeah, I know how much I drink. So if I only drink it 1 or 2, I'm not.
I mean, I was aiming for more for the 2 to 3, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Now, we drop a fireball into this motherfucker.
Oh my god.
So you
That-
want even more cinnamon in it.
Somebody
That's
got
what you-
Fireball?
But it'll make it taste like pumpkin pie.
with this? If you drop a shot of Fireball whiskey into this, it's beautiful. It's literally
Now, I
pumpkin
might
pie.
be able to take more than 2 or than 2. And I'll be like, "Bleh, bleh."
Just watch out for the hedges on the way out.
For real.
Yeah, I will watch for the hedges.
Shit.
That poison, Papo. That poison.
Oh man. All right. Not bad. So we went with 4.25.
4.25.
We went with a 5 over here. We went with a 4.75 from me, and we went with a 4.25. Or are you going to give it a 4?
The 4.
4.
And
All
Chad
right.
gave it the 5.
So if we give it all summed up average of what we all gave it, it's landing in at that 4.75, 4.5. Not bad. 4.5, 4.75 out of 5. That's a darn good beer.
That'll go
All
burr.
right. Now to switch it off a little bit, I wanted to conclude this episode with something else from Kentucky.
Okay.
But this one will kick you in the ass.
You know, I definitely was like, yes, we're doing this.
Here we
All
go.
right. So I went with
Tighten your
Buffalo
buttholes.
Trace, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
God,
All
we're
right.
not gonna survive this. Okay. All right.
The
Let's do
ancient
it.
Buffalo Trace carved path through the wilderness that led American pioneers and explorers to the new frontiers. One such trail led to the banks of Kentucky River, where Buffalo Trace Distillery has made its bourbon whiskey. So let's go ahead and let's taste out some good old bourbon whiskey that's been made for more than 200 years.
All right.
So
Tighten your
what we're
buttholes,
definitely
guys.
gonna
Let's
have
go.
to do though, because this will be the first liquor that we have here.
That's true. We
That
have.
is true. This is the first.
Well,
official,
we had the poison, but that's like a mixed drink. This is our first, just like
Wait, you had natties. I didn't catch that.
that was at the end of the episode where we had Bertner and Pops.
Oh shit! I didn't
And
realize
Elizabeth,
that.
yeah.
I was like, oh shit! I didn't catch that part.
we had the Capriena.
Yo, and your,
Caipirinha,
Caprinia.
your wife's alcohol is deadly, bro.
bro.
You
Shout
were
out to
feeling
Natty.
great after that show.
What was funny was as you saw
Chad was feeling
Richard
amazing.
drinking it, he was like,
You know what the scary part of your wife's alcohol is? Can't taste the alcohol.
exactly.
It hits you in
That
the
is the
fucking
whole
nuts.
point. That is the whole point. Is so that when some other individuals we know who were sitting in a 4.5 foot high stool at a bar was being given. Oh, so here's some juice. Here's some juice. Here's some juice.
Tammy's even saying it in the right tone. Here's
Huh?
some juice.
And he got up to ask, "Where's the bathroom at?" His knee started wiggling. All right. He had to recalibrate himself before he took his next step. He had to,
He
he
said
had to
the
reset his
P-RAM.
P-RAM. All right, guys, let's pull out some Buffalo Trace here. Let's
Oh,
go straight to
God.
the source. Oh.
So we got to
Jesus.
cheers this. So
All right, we're definitely cheering this. We can move the beers
have a
off the camera here. Let's
put that beautiful bottle in front of.
put this beautiful bottle right here.
Buffalo Trace is such a good whiskey, ladies and gentlemen.
This
Something you want to have in your
is
liquor
something
cabinet.
that I love having hidden on my shelf. Now, this is something that I can have as a mental reset.
I love seeing that bottle.
All right. Chen, you going to try this out?
Yeah.
All right, Chen.
Chen always tries it.
All right. Buffalo Trace peeps, just for those of you who are listening in or watching, ranges in at a 45% APV.
Oh!
All right.
Put a hair on your nuts, bro.
Or hair on your nipples.
Oi.
Hey.
Whoop, whoop.
Too late.
Too late. Yo,
I'm never going to forget that day, bro.
just do like one finger, bro. One finger.
Pablo, what the?
That is
Oh,
one finger.
Shit.
One
Pablo,
fat
that
finger.
is like 2 shots.
Ah.
I'll give that one a high roll.
Look,
Yeah, give that.
I'll
to-
take it,
give
but
that-
just be aware the cups have lines on them for a reason.
exactly.
That's the shot line.
Oh, that's a shot line? Bro, it's right over. It's a
Yeah.
hairline.
I'm fine with it.
It's a
I don't know
elephant hair.
about y'all.
It's an elephant hair over the line. Don't worry about it.
No, it ain't.
That's fine.
That's the line.
That's fine.
No, you drink it smooth. It would be better if it had some ice in it. It's diluted a little bit.
Hi,
but-
my name's Hyro. Everything is a shot.
Wepa!
Be like, you drink this slow. You shut up. Click.
You wanna hand
So
that
right
one
off
over
the
that one?
bat,
Chad.
right off the bat, just from smelling it, you get that maple syrup, like kind of like smell from it. So you know it's gonna be sweet. But
All
then
right,
again-
gentlemen. All right, towards the middle. Let's cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. First bourbon whiskey we're bringing here into the studio. All right. For the resurrection of the smoke machine. Is that what that cheers for? All right.
Hey, just giving you a
Want to resurrect that smokes machine? Just for Porata, he loves that.
For all of those that are with us, and all of us that love us, and all of us that are no longer with us.
Damn right.
Rest in peace, Mima. Oh,
Over the lips, past the gums. Look at the tonsils. Here I come.
Over the lips, past the tongue.
wow. So, I've never had Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
It's fucking delicious, ladies and gentlemen. So, I would go as far to say, do you guys like old fashions? Have you ever had an old fashioned?
Indeed.
Look
So
who you talking to.
old fashions. So I recently took.
I mean, look at him. He's prehistoric.
There you go. So I recently took my wife to like our anniversary weekend we spent at the Standard in Miami Beach, and they have this little bar, right? That's only open from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. Right, the 6 p.m. to 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. whatever.
I see that, Chad.
And they served me one of the best old fashions that I've ever had in my life. This shit should be in an old fashioned. It's
Oh,
fucking-
they definitely do make it with an old fashioned.
I've never. Most of them use what's it called, billet or.
Well, you can choose. Like this
You
definitely
can
is
tell him
used
what to
for-
put in there.
Honestly, this is incredible.
Yeah,
Like
you could change something a little different.
it has enough sweet. Like for whiskey, I mean, I know we usually talk about beer here, but like let's talk about whiskey for a second.
Well, it's about brews.
I mean, we do,
That's
right?
not-
So
That's
check-
why we
beers
named
only.
it Brews.
That's
Because
true.
it can be almost anything.
Oh, I can't wait to have the vodka episode. That's gonna be fun.
Oh,
We're gonna,
I
shit.
can't wait for the tequila episode.
I'm looking forward to that tequila.
You know who have to
you
pull
know
in,
who
right?
wants to come into that tequila?
Oh,
episode?
Ernie.
Ernie wants to come
Oh.
into that tequila episode.
He's definitely. I'm ready. I know the exact tequilas to get him.
Ernie is my hero when it comes to alcoholism. That
Yeah. And then Austin seems to have picked up a lot on tequila during 2020.
I mean, he
Really?
works where we work, so it's like, of course. I mean,
So-
alcoholism
That's
is.
good. You know.
So honestly, I've tasted a lot of different bourbon whiskeys, like
Mhm.
especially over the last few months. Like it's become my new obsession. Like my new go-to drink is an old fashioned. With whiskey, you definitely want to get smoky, sweet, vanilla, woody type flavors or
And
whatever.
That has it all.
It has it all. It's beautiful.
That has all of it.
There is nothing more that I could change to this whiskey or anything like that to make it perfect. It's already perfect. I give it a 5.
You gave it a 5.
Motherfucking
All right.
5.
So we got a
Motherfucking 5.
We got a 5 from Chris. We got a 4.5. 4.5 from Chen. What are you gonna give it her?
Chan, why a 4 or 5?
Buffalo Chase. It's just
Okay, fair.
so smooth.
Okay.
Hits the tongue so softly. Hits the back of the palate. Just strong enough that you're just like,
Mm-mm-mm.
It gets a 0.25. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa, what the fuck, bro?
Nah. This I don't know. I feel like we need a different ranking system for liquors.
I mean, whiskey, like hard liquor as a
So
whole.
you want to go from 1 to 10?
I feel like it deserves like a 1 to 10.
Wait a minute. Total episode idea. Shitty dollar store liquor. Like Everclear or
damn.
Flor de Caña. No, not
Nah,
Flor de
bro.
Caña. What's it?
Moonshine,
I-
aguardiente.
I
have
already
moonshine.
became
I have it.
traumatized after last episode.
Next time I go
having
to
taste
Bama.
shitty beers.
I mean, Steel Reserve ain't that bad. I'm just
Steel
saying.
Reserve.
Four
Actually-
Loco.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Steel Reserve was not horrible. Steel Reserve was not horrible.
Chen does not.
Chad's like, what the fuck are you
Chen's
talking
face
about?
is
Chen's flipping the hell out here on me right now, but I'm gonna be honest.
What's the
I felt like I had those sugary notes at the end of that beer.
sugary. No. Tastes like freshly washed ass.
Freshly ass washed sugar cubes.
Oh, that's too funny. Aguardiente. There you go. Firewater.
I have
Bueno,
aguardiente. at
Flor
home.
de Caña is not that bad.
Brugal is rum. You
Just to
gotta-
let you know, I have a liquor cabinet full of liquor
Brugal,
that we
I always
haven't
got
touched.
Brugal in the house.
So when you guys are ready for that, the liquor episode, holla at your boy.
All
And
right,
I got the
all right.
Babanco.
No,
Mama Juana.
Mama Juana apparently is that thing that you drink when you want to get a girl pregnant, bro. Like when you want to get
It's an
like,
aphrodisiac.
That's
Apparently-
And if
bullshit.
it's made right, because that's
apparently
like never
it's
made
like
right.
it's like dick fuel or something. I don't know.
Aphrodisiac.
Dick
Papa.
fuel. Wow, we're going with that.
I don't fucking know. I don't make the rules.
But
Harold,
made
what-
right, it
Harold,
takes 9 to 12
What
months.
is Mama Juana?
So Mama Juana is rum and wine and other spices.
So it's like
mixed into it.
50% wine, 50% rum,
And, it's
then
cured.
there
Yeah.
are specific roots.
Yes, there's specific roots.
There's specific roots from what I
You bury it.
visually saw and learned the day that they did it.
It exactly. You bury it. You bring it up after a few months. You pour something else in.
Did you just say
bury
a few months?
Yeah,
Bro, I
it
was told-
takes
I was
it
told
takes
a few
about 9 to
days.
12 months to make. Real Mama Juana takes a long time. It's not something that you just like mix and like here's a Mama Juana. Real Mama Juana actually takes time. People who make it for real like bury a bunch of them. Yeah, but that's why they bury a bunch so that
Bro,
next year they have.
that.
Alright.
It figures why the one that I tasted like shit.
So
Yeah, because they just have like the spices. They go.
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
So hold up, Pyro. So let me ask you a question. Was the original developer of Mama Juana, or creator,
Developer.
or whatever you want to call it?
Damn. Is that okay? Are
Was
we
the-
programming now? Like
was her name Juana? And then he just said Mama Juana.
Mama Juana.
le quiere mamar.
Because that's exactly what we've been doing to Juana.
So it's funny. Like half of my girl's family keeps telling me like, "Oh, if you guys want to have a baby, just have Mama Juana." I'm like, what does it do? Does it make my fucking swimmers swim faster? Does it make my dick larger or something? I don't know. Does they fucking shoot out like my nut like a fucking like machine gun or something? Like, please tell me exactly how this works. And they're like, it just works. It turns you into Big Poppy. Oh,
Yeah, Rodrigo knows.
hey.
You bury one or a few per month because like they just like
But
if you have it set
I
right,
feel like
you always
that would
have some.
be difficult as hell to do here in Miami because I'm gonna have to get a pickaxe and break some coral rocks.
But it's
Huh?
Miami,
Papo, I
though.
do that in my house. Like we've already like we have the holes. Like,
You already got the holes?
yeah,
Aye. You reuse those roots.
if I don't break the bottle.
Aye, coño.
But normally it's done in like those old like nice like looking like it's not even one from like a bottle that you buy. It's well, way we do 'em. Looking like pirate bottles and stuff.
By the way, put a little bit of the pumpkin barrel ale.
Well, 1 to 10, Chen.
1 to 10.
Woo!
Put
Flip it on you.
put a little bit of this in at
8.5?
the end of the Buffalo Trace. It gives it a very, very good taste.
So Chen gives it an 8.5.
8.5.
8.5 out of 10. Wow.
What
Wow.
What is Chris?
I mean, Buffalo Trace, I'm going to give a 5. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah, but we're
Wait,
going
a
from
fi-
1 to 10.
1 to
Oh,
10.
1 to 10?
1
Yeah.
to 10.
Because it's a liquor. It's not a beer.
So when we talk about bourbon whiskey, like, I have a lot of different bourbon whiskeys that I love.
Maker's Mark.
Maker's Mark is whatever. Like, in my opinion.
But it's a good like go-to. For me, it's my go-to. But when I was like, give me some Makers. Because sometimes they
It's-
don't have like
I'm gonna
something else.
give it-
Like,
It's a good go-to because it's easier to find.
yes.
For those of you who are listening in and are going to go try to find the Buffalo Trace, I'm going to already give you the pre-warning. It is not easy to find.
No.
Correct.
I've-
Some places have it. Where we
I've-
like to go. actually
There's been
tends to have
multiple
it.
journeys to Total Wine, and they don't have Jack. And the reason is
Mm.
because every time shipments come in, they maybe only get 3 bottles,
And people
Right.
buy them
and
quick.
goes quickly.
and they sell out fast.
The thing about bourbon whiskey is also like how aged is it, number one. Also,
So-
how is it aged? Because there's a lot of different whiskey.
I don't remember
distilleries.
It's
the
not about
exact,
the when, but the how.
I don't remember the exact name of this series, but there's a series on Hulu you can look up that is specifically partnered with Buffalo Trace.
Really?
And Buffalo Trace is the mother company of other whiskeys and other bourbons
I
that
can
are
see
out
that.
there.
It's not Jim Beam
No.
or Jack Daniels.
Jim Beam is my like. I just need
Jimmy-
a bottle of something
nice-
there right next to me.
A nice side note about Buffalo Trace is that it is a bourbon. Bourbons are only made in the U.S.
Yes,
They're
are.
not made anywhere else in the world. And every single time that these things are barreled, they're barreled in at 160 proof, and they're aged for 4 years. So you have 4 winters, 4 summers,
Correct.
4 springs, 4
Correct.
falls, before they are then bottled. Some of them are aged for longer. Of course, the longer they're aged, the more expensive the bottle is.
Cha-ching.
Correct.
And the neater it is also.
Mm-hmm.
right? But if you do look on Hulu, I don't remember the exact name off the top of my head. I would have to look it up for you guys. But there is a series around the company Buffalo Trace itself and how they make. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's called Neat, NEAT.
To have it neat. That's why y'all
I
know
mean,
me.
that's the way it should be.
and that's the
I
way it
drink
should
almost
be.
anything neat.
But it is a great series. I learned a lot from it. These guys never go into a barrel that's already been used. These guys always are aged in a new barrel.
So they like the new barrel and then having it like soak up.
So it's kind of like
the
it's kind of like Jameson. Like when you go to the Jameson distillery, they only
Jameson is my
they
love.
only use brand new barrels, and then what they do with the old barrels is just basically give them to like beer companies and other
Exactly.
like rum companies
Or-
to use them.
What they've also
Mm.
started doing for those of you out there who like barbecuing and smoking stuff in a barbecue is that in occasions they chip up these
yeah,
barrels,
the barrels. And
They get
use
the
them
wood
to smoke.
and they make them into
Oh my god,
chunks
that's sexy.
or chips.
Yes.
And you throw this on top of the charcoal, and it gives the food such a different flavor.
Where can I buy this?
I was at Bass Pro Shops just recently, and they had not Jameson. What's the other one that you find all the time? Wow, I'm having a brain fart here, bro. This Buffalo Trace
Jack
wiped me out.
Daniels?
Sounds like Maker's
Jack Daniels. There you go.
I knew it, Jack
Oh.
Daniels.
Jack
I knew it,
Daniels.
Jack Daniels. Like
Jack
Jack Daniels.
Daniels. They had Jack Daniels chipped up in pieces
Ooh,
for you to be able to throw right on top of the charcoal.
that's
That's
beautiful.
that's
Yeah.
still throwing that like that burp.
So
Dude, that over
if
some
you haven't
fucking
already
steak.
tried this before, that is something to look out for, bro.
All right, so going back to my previous question. 1 to 10. Chris, hit us up.
You know, I like it, but I'm not going to say that it's the best I've ever had. I'm going to go ahead and give it a
You're the
nice
best.
8.5. No one's going to ever bring me down. You're the best. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
8.5. Okay.
8.5, I think
8.5
is fair.
from Chen.
Hey,
8.5
is
from
high.
you. All right.
8.5
Pretty good.
is
What
not,
where,
a, not
where,
a bad
where are you
number.
standing from 1 to 10?
Bro, it's hard, bro. It's oh man, I think I'm in the 8.59 range.
I'm gonna be at the 9 with Buffalo Trace.
I think I'll give it a 9. Sure.
Gives me a 9 on my whiskey.
2 9s, 2 8s and a half.
Sorry,
All right, but that's
My
8.5.
whiskeys.
That's 8.5, 9 out of 10. That's not bad.
that's why
Yeah.
it's a little different. I feel like we have to expand it for whiskey just because like the flavor palette and stuff.
Yeah.
It goes a little past the 5. 5 beers, fairly simple. You know,
It's
like they
also
got
a
palate, but never
longer-
that crazy.
It's also a longer making process, right? It takes longer to produce this than it does to produce
Yeah.
your
You gotta
average
give
beer.
it a longer rating.
Extremely, like, the whiskey and
Bullshit.
all hard liquors
Bullshit.
take way longer to produce than a fucking beer does. Beer you
Yeah.
can make over the course of a couple days. True aged whiskeys can take
That's why I feel like it
years
needs
and
a 10.
months.
And the points in the between. So like
It has to be on a
I feel
10
like-
scale. Agreed.
Yeah.
But let's then also look at this for it being a 10 scale. This right here is a standard 4-year aged bottle, right? If you were to be drinking right now an 8, a 12, or a 17-year aged bottle, this will be totally different.
your boy got some cigars at home.
I know
Huh?
this would be great. So you would dip the end of the cigar in a shot of this and just literally let it savor all night. That would be incredible.
To my cigar crew.
Shout out.
No.
That's my thing. I love cigars too.
Now, Chris, you said you had a barbecue recipe that you
Oh, okay.
that
wanna
you
talk-
were interested
Oh,
in.
give it to me.
So I'm actually going to give you a different one because for the episode we talked about beer the most. Have you ever heard of beer can chicken?
Yes. We
Okay.
talked about it before.
So beer can chicken is on paper, it looks easy, but it's not. Right? So
But
I've-
we're gonna use this for the beer can chicken.
you wouldn't survive.
No, I know.
You wouldn't survive that.
That's like I know we're talking about beer can.
So
Because
That
you
wouldn't
gave the
be a bad
recipe
idea.
last time.
the point of beer can chicken, folks, just to let you know what that is you get a whole roast chicken. You're going to go ahead and use whatever favorite rub that you have. I recommend, like a Montreal steak rub, a barbecue boys rub, something like that. Anything with like heavy, sweet, spicy accents. Me personally, I'm very partial to the barbecue seasoning that they have at Trader Joe's. I know it's weird, but I like their
So
seasonings.
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's seasonings are
Yo,
actually
Trader Joe's got some good stuff.
yes. So
Not everything, but
the
they
barbecue seasoning that they have at Trader Joe's, you get a whole chicken. There's even a funny name for it. It's called spatchcock. I don't know exactly why they call it spatchcock. Oi. But basically, you get this whole chicken, right? And you're going to go ahead and put it with a beautiful rub. And you're going to let that marinate for about a couple of hours, right? At least minimum, I would say 4 to 5 hours, right? In the fridge. You're going to let that just sit, right? And then what you're going to do is, number one, if you're cooking on gas, you need to make sure that you monitor the temperature.
Your favorite, Bubble.
You lost me there, bro.
Gas it's more common because it's easier to use.
Oye, yo cocino sin gas.
Sin gas.
Yo cocino sin gas.
So if you're gonna cook on gas, you need to make sure that you monitor the temperature very closely. I would say about 250 degrees for a minimum of 3 to 4 hours for a whole chicken, right? Now, on the flip side, if you're using the right stuff, aka wood charcoal, shout out to my charcoal loving people.
100%.
And that's the only way to grill. What's up?
But that's also more difficult to maintain that temperature.
It is. So
you got to be on top of that shit.
So charcoal, if you're going to use charcoal, you definitely want to use not.
I think you're making Chen salivate.
Oh. So you're going to want to use wood charcoal, not briquettes, right?
All right. Let's.
We got to wrap it up.
Yeah, we hit it a little.
So long story short,
over the time.
Long story short, you're gonna shove the beer can up.
I love. Long story short, shove the beer can in his ass.
You gotta, shove it up your ass.
You're gonna shove the beer can up the chicken's ass, and you're gonna let it sit on wood charcoal for about 3 to 4 hours, with the lid closed. Very important that you leave the lid closed. And about 3-4 hours, you have some of the most juicy and delectable chicken that you've ever had in your life. And you can use it for just about anything. And I mean sandwiches, pasta, on a sandwich. Mix it with your favorite barbecue sauce. You're welcome. Amen. God bless.
All right, man.
Yeah.
So we tried 3 beers and a bourbon. All from Kentucky. All right. Huge shout out to Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. For sure.
Hold on. It's the Lexington Brewery and Distillery Company.
There we go. The Lexington Brewery and Distillery Company. I wonder what they distill.
You having trouble there?
Yeah, it's a little tongue twister, bro. I haven't had anything from their distillery, but I'm curious what they got.
I know.
Well, we'll find out a little more.
And then to follow it up with the good old finishing it up with Buffalo Trace, also from good old Kentucky. And then we had the Hyro side joke of KFC. No, we didn't have any KFC.
No KFC today.
But for those of you following us tonight, thanks for following us on Outdoors, Brews, and Barbecue. That is it for tonight's episode. Y'all have a good one. Until the next time.
Peace. Take care.
Don't
forget to watch the YouTube.
God bless.